The Warriors are officially back on the court, and even though it was just a preseason game, you could already feel that this team is coming with a different kind of energy. Of course, it's just the beginning, and no one was at full strength. The Lakers sat out LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Marcus Smart, while the Warriors didn't have Steph Curry or DeAnthony Melton on the floor. But even with both teams shorthanded, there were signs, clear signs, of what this Warriors squad is planning to be. And the first thing that stood out right away was the pace. The tempo was relentless. The way the Warriors ran up and down the court with intensity, it was impossible to ignore, especially considering this is one of the oldest teams in the league, if not the oldest. The average age of the starting five was 34 years old, 5 years older than the second oldest starting lineup in the NBA. That's a big gap, and yet they were running like a young team with something to prove. It honestly felt like they were channeling the spirit of that final 31-game stretch from last season after Jimmy joined the team. Every time the Lakers scored, Jimmy grabbed the ball and immediately initiated the fast break. It might seem like overkill for a preseason game, and maybe it is, but it sent a message. This team is setting a tone from day one. For the guys on the edge of the roster, the ones fighting for a spot or trying not to get cut, this shows exactly what's expected. And for the veterans, it's about leading by example. That's how you build a real championship culture. Play hard, no matter what's on the line, no matter who's watching. Now, speaking of that roster fight, one name that needs to be mentioned is Pat Spencer. The guy was everywhere. He played with real heart and energy, always in motion, always hustling. And sure, with that mustache, he might look more like a pitcher for the Yankees than an NBA player, but the man brought it. On the other hand, you look at someone like Buddy Hield, he was out there, he ran with the pace, but he didn't make an impact. And that's where the front office is going to have some decisions to make. Because if Spencer keeps playing like that, and Hield keeps coasting on his guaranteed contract, that gap in effort is going to become a real conversation. Who are you going to trust when it matters? A guy with fire or a guy just going through the motions? Jonathan Kuminga was another player everyone had their eye on. He had his moments, showed flashes of what he can do, but nothing that really said, I've leveled up. Not yet, at least. It's not a red flag, but it's something to keep in mind as preseason rolls on. Now, Moses Moody? That's a different story. He looks solid, steady, confident, and he might just force himself into a bigger role if he keeps that up. The type of performance that makes you think twice about including him in any trade package. Because yes, the Warriors still have that one big issue to solve, size. That weakness inside was glaring. The Lakers took advantage of it all game. DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes dominated in the paint. Offensive rebounds, easy putbacks, second chance points, they were a real problem. The Warriors had a battle for every board, and even then, it didn't always matter. Al Horford, despite playing with his usual intelligence and spacing the floor well, just doesn't have the height anymore to consistently stop that kind of interior presence. He gave everything, and at 39 years old, he still shows his basketball IQ on every play. But let's be real, he's 6'10", and that's not enough when you're facing 7-footers who live in the paint. Quentin Post did what he could. He's a true 7-footer, and at times, he looked promising. But other times, he looked like a deer in headlights. And that's something the Warriors can't afford come playoff time. Yes, experience comes with minutes, and yes, he'll get better over the season. But you need a big who knows exactly what to do now. Someone who's confident in the post, who can control the glass, who can pass out of a double team and anchor the defense when it matters. That's why someone like Nikola Vucevic makes so much sense. If the Warriors do end up moving Buddy Hield, Vucevic could be the piece that completes this roster. The only hesitation? Moses Moody. After the way he played, it's hard to justify including him in a trade. He earned that contract, and more importantly, he looked like he belongs. There might be other options, though. Around the league, there are always tall guys on the fringes of rosters. Guys like Alex Len, maybe someone cut from the Knicks or another deep team. The front office will have to get creative with the cap space. But if they can bring in just one more real center, this team becomes a legitimate top 3 seed in the West. Because the core is already there. The mentality is already there. The effort is already there. And let's not overlook how beautiful the ball movement was. This wasn't isolation-heavy, hero ball nonsense. This was classic Warriors basketball. Quick passes, swing passes, extra passes, 11 passes on one possession before shot went up. That's the kind of offense that wears defenses down. That's the kind of system that builds leads fast. In one sequence, the Warriors were up by just 3. A minute and a half later, they were up by 15. That's not just hot shooting. That's smart basketball. That's making the defense chase for so long that eventually someone is wide open and boom, 3 points. That's the same ball movement that defined the dynasty years. And if this group can maintain that identity while also plugging the one big hole, literally, they'll be dangerous. Because right now, there's no overwhelming favorite in the West. Oklahoma City is talented, but still young, and they barely made it past Indiana. The Cavaliers won a lot of games last year, but let's be honest, they're not built for the big stage. And as for the Lakers, when healthy, they're contenders. But staying healthy is their biggest challenge. If the Warriors make the right moves, if they keep this energy going and bring in one more big body, this team can absolutely go on a run. You could be looking at a 17-3 start. And once a veteran team gets rolling like that, it's hard to stop them, especially when you've got championship DNA, a locker room full of competitors, and leaders who know exactly what it takes to get there. And as much as the Warriors showed the right mentality, intensity, and style of play in that first preseason game, it also served as a reminder that success this season is going to require more than heart and hustle. The lack of size isn't just a small flaw, it's a structural issue that could cost this team when it matters MO at right now. And no amount of high IQ or veteran leadership can fully compensate for the absence of a real, reliable big man who can dominate or at least hold his ground inside. Watching Ayton and Hayes crash the boards with ease wasn't just frustrating, it was a clear warning sign. Post and Horford fought hard. Sure, but this isn't about effort. It's about height, length, timing, and presence. This league isn't short on 7-footers who know how to get physical, and the playoffs are where those players really start to shine. If the Warriors don't add someone who fits that mold, they're going to get out-muscled when it matters. Whether it's Jokic, Gobert, Sabonis, or someone else, the Western Conference is full of bigs who are going to feast if Golden State doesn't address this. That's why a move for someone like Vucevic makes so much sense. He's not just tall, he's smart, consistent, and experienced. He knows how to operate in the post, but he also knows how to move the ball, space the floor, and read the game. He's not some project or unknown quantity. He's a proven asset who fits this Warriors style. And if you're serious about a deep playoff run, you make that deal, even if it costs you Buddy Hield and some depth. Now, if Moody keeps playing the way he did, that changes the equation. Suddenly, he looks too valuable to let go. He showed poise, control, and real growth, exactly what you want from a young player coming off the bench. That's the other aspect that this preseason game revealed. The Warriors' internal competition is going to shape this roster in ways we might not expect. Because when the younger players push this hard, they start putting real pressure on the veterans. Pat Spencer is a perfect example. He's not just playing for a spot. He's forcing the coaching staff to ask hard questions about who deserves minutes. And if that kind of intensity spreads, it could lift the whole team. The Warriors don't need to be the most athletic team on the court. They just need to be the most committed. That's what built the dynasty. And you can see glimpses of that same formula here. Draymond, for all the jokes and criticism about his shot selection, is still the emotional engine of this group. He sets the tone defensively, he talks constantly, and when he locks in, everyone else follows. Yes, he needs to cut back on the long-range attempts, but his role as a distributor and leader is still absolutely vital. Steph, even in street clothes, remains the standard. You could see him locked into every play, engaged with teammates, encouraging the guys on the floor. And Jimmy? He's playing like a man who's not just fitting in, but leading. Every possession, every movement, it's like he's been here for years. And when you combine that kind of leadership with the spark coming from the bench, that's when things get interesting. If the Warriors can get solid contributions from players like Spencer, Moody, and even Post as the season progresses, they won't just be deep, they'll be dangerous. Because this system rewards effort and intelligence. It's not about having the most highlight plays. It's about who's in the right spot, who's making the extra pass, who's sacrificing for the team. That's what made the Warriors great before, and that's what they're trying to reclaim. This isn't just about nostalgia. It's not about trying to repeat the past. It's about understanding what made them successful and building on it with the right pieces. And right now, even with that glaring hole in the front court, you can tell this team has the foundation. They're communicating, rotating, moving without the ball, and playing unselfishly. Those are things you can't teach overnight. You either have that culture or you don't. And Golden State does. The other thing that stands out is the way they've embraced the challenge. No one's acting like a preseason game doesn't matter. No one's going through the motions. From the veterans to the two-way guys, there's a sense of urgency. They know what last season felt like. The up and down inconsistency. The missed opportunities. The wasted leads. That's not the standard for this franchise. And this preseason opener showed that they're not going to accept that again. Now, obviously, this is still just the very beginning. One game doesn't tell the whole story, but it does give us a preview. And in that preview, we saw a team that is focused, determined, and not waiting for the regular season to start building chemistry. That matters, because too often, teams try to flip the switch in February or March, and by then, it's too late. The Warriors look like they're trying to flip the switch in October. And if they get it right, that momentum can carry them far. The question now becomes whether the front office will recognize what's missing and move quickly to fix it. Because the pieces are mostly in place. The offense looks fluid. The defense, while undersized, is working hard and communicating well. The rotations are tight. The only real gap is size, and that's fixable. Whether it's through a trade, a signing, or a late training camp addition, the opportunity is there. And the window, while not wide open, is definitely still there too. With teams like Oklahoma City and Houston on the rise, but not yet fully proven, there's a lane for a veteran squad like the Warriors to take control. If they can stay healthy, find the right mix of experience and youth, and solve that issue in the paint, there's no reason this team can't be among the top 3 seeds in the West by the All-Star break. Because as much as people love to count them out, the Warriors still have that edge. That dog mentality. It's not about flash. It's about hunger. And when you watch this team closely, you can see it. It's in the way they communicate on defense. It's in the way they sprint back in transition. It's in the way they trust the extra pass. Those things don't show up on the highlight reels, but they win games. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Rumors are swirling in the NBA world, and sources close to the situation are hinting at a move that could shake up the league. Trey Murphy III is reportedly set to join the Golden STM beyond the arc. Murphy could seamlessly fit into the Warriors' high-octane offensive system, potentially adding yet another deadly perimeter weapon to an already formidable lineup. Imagine the havoc alongside Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers plus Murphy, raining threes from every corner of the court. Analysts are already speculating about the kind of spacing nightmares this trio could create for opposing defenses. Of course, every rumor comes with a dash of skepticism. Some question whether Murphy can maintain his efficiency in a system as demanding as Golden State's, or whether he will adapt to a role that might require more off-ball movement and less isolation scoring. But early whispers suggest that the Warriors' front office is confident in his ability to thrive. And if Murphy's prior performances are any indication, he certainly has the potential to become a game-changer. Social media has been set ablaze with speculation, with fans imagining endless scenarios, clutch threes in the playoffs, deep runs in March and April, and perhaps even a championship push powered by a trio of sharpshooters that could redefine the team's identity. Inside sources hint that the deal is not just about Murphy's scoring. It's also about youth, versatility, and a fresh injection of energy into a team hungry for dominance. While the deal is yet to be finalized, the mere suggestion of Trey Murphy III in a Warriors uniform has created a buzz that refuses to die down. If it comes to fruition, Golden State fans could be in for a thrilling season where the threes rain like never before, and opponents scramble to contain a squad seemingly designed to shoot from anywhere. Stay tuned. This rumor might just turn into one of the most electrifying additions of the year. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.